Well, what a treat that was. The music of Schumann, but not Robert Schumann, but rather William Schumann. Different Schumann.
Never heard of him.
No, either have I. It's called the Circus Overture. And yeah, so there we go. It's a bit of
sounded chaotic.
Yeah, they were going for it. Yes, it's from a children's concert, actually, with Dimitri Mitropoulos and the Minneapolis Symphony Orchestra back in 1949. Courtesy of a tape from the Marchant 3M tape archiving project. They're putting things up online all the time, rare recordings, off-air recordings, often in excellent fidelity. The fidelity of that was just astonishing for 1949, evidently recorded on tape or recorded live, probably live to air, and then recorded off air using a wideband receiver and an excellent early generation tape recorder, probably an Ampex. So that's an interesting artifact from the vaults. You don't hear about Mr. Schumann, but he's the other Schumann. But there we go. That's a bit of light music. What else does it tell us here? This particular piece had its Minneapolis Symphony debut a few weeks earlier and featured a piano player featuring Arturo Michelangelo. I don't think he was the pianist on that in the orchestra, though. Anyhow, it's an interesting artifact. So, how are things, gentlemen? First to you, Mr. JR. You with us there?
Yes. And good evening, Mr. OP. I'm well, thank you. I'm well. I had a busy week with the birthday.
Oh, yes,
lunch
of
yesterday,
course.
Joni couldn't come. He was unwell.
Oh, what a pity.
Which is woke for crook.
Oh, that's not good.
And I had a very good dinner on Monday night out with the family at a little Italian restaurant.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's lovely.
So that's the go.
Yeah, birthday greetings.
That's the social life, really.
Harmonic here.
Whoa.
No, I don't think I can play it on this.
Oh.
No, we'll leave the birthday song for another time.
Well, more practice required.
Yes, it's not going to work.
Thank you for the thought.
No, it's you have to have...
You know what an unkind person would say? Stick to the cello.
Yes. Well, you can play certain things, but it's got to be diatonic.
I know the harmonies have got to be...
Yes.
I very much appreciate it, Steve.
Yeah, that's all right. No worries. But the sentiment's there, and many happy returns.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Mr. OP, how are you?
Is it Mr. OP or APV?
Oh, is it APV? Sorry.
Might be Ian, is it?
Yes. I tuned in because I thought there might have been a birthday broadcast on Monday, but there wasn't.
Apologies, Ian. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but no, Monday was a sort of a bit of a fam day for me. So anyhow, we'll definitely we'll have to have something to celebrate Frank's. But in fact, Frank, why don't you tonight pick the main feature for tonight? There we go. We'll do a program tonight. The programs are getting a bit shorter in the evenings because I've got big weekends. But if you'd like to choose a 30-minute segment or something, I don't know.
I could have. I think I'll follow up on the theme that we did at U3A today, which were jazz women divas.
Oh, jazz women divas. Okay.
Usual suspects, of course.
Yes, I can well imagine. Anything sort of jump out as being, that would have been good.
Oh, yes. No, look, a bit of Billy and a bit of Ella and a bit of... I'm very fond of Sarah Vaughan.
Yeah, she's great. Yep, I've got her name on the list. But I'll let you choose a few tracks.
And Peggy Lee, of course.
Peggy Lee. All right, see, I'm writing all these down now. Peggy Lee, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald. Yes, we can...
Peggy Lee, and let's not forget Nina Simone.
Oh, of course. I just come across one of her recordings just before. Nina Simone. There we go. There's our list.
Yes, an amazing musician. She was.
Yeah, absolutely. We can play some of these this afternoon.
Very dedicated to the cause of equality.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. It's my biggest...
With Billy, of course.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure they all were, but in their own way.
Yeah, most definitely. It's my biggest regret.
To play strange fruit.
No, that's too. Oh, it's heart wrenching.
My close friend, one of my close who sits next to me,
Yeah.
she walked out when they played strange fruit.
Oh, really?
She just wasn't ready for it.
Oh, it's so powerful. It's hard. I mean, it's just. Yeah, it's music.
She said, "Do you want to come?" I said, "No, I think I can take it."
Yeah. Understood. Well, I've got a pile of records. I just picked out some jazz records for this afternoon. I think there's a Billie Holiday amongst them, so we will refer to that. Maybe just look, keep your list up and current, so we can do that. I better play our 20s hit though, because it's waiting, and I was gonna play a few cylinders as well, because I've another batch has arrived, and I'm keen to sort of keep working through them and discovering them. I literally will be discovering today's batch on the fly. They're still wrapped up in plastic. So they came all the way from Adelaide. As a collector in Adelaide has been sort of letting me have them for next to nothing, actually.
Lovely.
And so very generous. The postage cost me a little bit, but it's.
Sorry, just before we do, you didn't give your social report.
My
How
social.
are things?
Oh, look, not a lot to report. I had a big concert last night.
That's a big report.
Yeah, well, it's a concert where I usually play a solo, but I'm not really in practice at the moment. There's so much music happening in this household at the moment that there's just nowhere to practice really, and the studio's too tight, and it's been hot, of course, and it's not pleasant out here when it's really hot. And but look, Henry's really busy because he is auditioning for festivals overseas, and he got into the Lucerne Festival, which is a major achievement.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so
that's incredible.
It's really exciting for him, and everything paid for. Absolutely everything. So their flights, everything. So it's quite a remarkable achievement. Now he's hoping to stay on. So he's making audition recordings for all the major universities in Germany.
Oh, good heavens.
So, but it's a huge demand on Kate. And she's accompanying him for these auditions, recordings, and they're going into the con every night. They've been going in for a better part of a week, every evening.
Where is it?
So, the closing dates have all been over this week and next week. So they went in last night, they're going in again tonight, they're going in tomorrow, and then there'll be another batch next week. It's pretty tiring on Kate because she's having to play to a high level, and she's accompanying him playing Richard Strauss concerto, a piece by Franz Strauss, which is Richard Strauss's father, who was a horn player. He wrote a beautiful piece for horn and piano, and that's one on the list. And there's some contemporary music and one of the Mozart concertos as well. But Mozart's very hard for the piano, and just very hard to get even. So Kate spent most of her time just doing hand exercises and doing really just exercises just to get you playing even as possible.
Yeah.
And and she's an excellent accompanist. She's very musically astute, so she's able to fit in with him. But it's just the resilience that's the hardest thing. So
that's really interesting stuff.
It's been really busy. So that's absolutely dominated everything. And I mean, the others are all at union doing stuff, and B started at the con and loving. She's learning with Antoinette Halloran. So
she's terrific.
Yeah, so really exciting.
She's a great opera singer.
Yeah.
I'd say great.
So
she's really very good.
Yeah, she is. She's fabulous. And I went to uni with her. I remember her well. And
I've heard her sing several times.
Yeah, we heard her in Sweeney Todd not long ago. And she's great. She's one of the few people who's able to sing grand opera and also music theatre. So yeah, she's good. So B's sort of settling into that culture. Liv's doing all the literature stuff, and everyone's sort of finding their rhythm. But it's a busy start to the year, to be honest. It's a bit crazy. So one step at a time. But yeah, that's my news.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for your interest. Yeah, so anyhow, we'll report back when we hear more. But I'm very excited for Henry. I think it's great that Lucerne Festival. It's a big. He's very good at reading and sight reading and working with contemporary music, and has a great ear. So the contemporary music, although it's not his favourite thing, he's able to adapt to it quite well. And it's not easy music to play, that stuff. It really isn't. You've just got to be able to subdivide rhythms and concentrate really well.
Yeah,
there's skills that I don't have. I haven't got the patience or I don't know. I'm too lazy.
How do you qualify to be chosen? I mean, how does that process
Well, he
work?
sends in an audition tape and played
Oh, I see.
and they had a list of contemporary pieces, and he really worked at it. He worked at it so much, and I can't remember the name of the work, but it's full of complexity. I mean, it was hyper complex work, full
Yeah.
of it's the sort of music that probably would make sense to most listeners, and but if you can work at it in a structured way, you can. Learn all of the effects and the colours and there's a lot of colour and a lot of articulations and effects and quasi-harmonic effects and things like that, pedal tones, all sorts of extended
He's had a
techniques.
great rise in his career, hasn't he?
Well, so far, I mean, it's hard to know where it's all going to go because there's not that much work for musicians, and he's young, and there's obviously opportunities for young people to at least have that type of experience. But
Well into the elite area now.
in a sense, but who knows where it's going to be? I'm not going to pretend
No,
it's
I
not an
understand.
easy
I
journey,
understand.
and he might find himself completely high and dry, and that happens a lot. So I'm not pretending it's anything else. But I'm happy for him that every
He
time
should
this.
consider China.
Yeah, China, right? Yeah, I don't know about the orchestral standards in China, but
There's been quite a demand for it.
yeah, okay, yeah. But I suppose there are certain institutions which have a reputation for particular teachers. There's one teacher he really wants to learn with, and that's why he's very stressed at the moment because he's got to make that recording tonight.
There are a number of composers who were also studying law, and their parents, just about to a parent, encouraged them to choose law as a career.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
They're well documented.
Yeah, and a lot did medicine as well.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah, a lot of our uni
It's
friends.
the riskiness of it, isn't it?
Yeah, heaps of our friends who he went to the con with ended up. They did double degrees in medicine and music, and ended up.
Well, that happened to Harold Fabricant, of course.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I didn't get back to you. I was going to ring you because it's all good. Yeah.
All good?
Yeah. I'll definitely give you a ring this weekend and clarify.
Yeah,
all
sure.
that. But
Sure,
thank
that's
you.
fine.
Thank you for that.
We'll fix that up on
Yeah,
offline.
we can do that later. So.
Yeah, he had to choose between being a concert pianist and a specialist medico.
Right.
He did radiology, and
Oh my goodness.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
But he kept music as his number one thing that he likes doing, I think.
Yeah, I think in a way it sort of can work a bit better as a hobby. I think there's not a lot of room at the top, and if you want to be in charge of your own destiny and play the music you really love, it's probably a better way to do things.
It worked very well for him because his career that he chose provided the wherewithal to enable him to get really elite facilities to indulge his music, with his organ and everything like that.
That's great. That's really good. It's a great story. Yeah. Oh, I look forward to hearing more about all of that.
Oh yeah.
Yay. All right. Well, look, we'll get on board with the music and let's enjoy this theory, and I'll dig up some of... tonight I might play... I'll see how we go, because we don't play a lot of classics in the afternoons, but we might play some tonight. I'm slowly working my way through your dad's collection, and it's great. And we'll pick a movement of a concerto or something to add to the fabric.
That'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be really good. They come across beautifully. These laminated records just sound excellent. I've had some good feedback about the material as well. And it's just nice to have a story attached to it. It's the thing is, I've got lots of 78s here, but the stories have been lost and the associations have been lost. So they just don't have the same meaning. And knowing it comes from a collection of someone who listens and can contribute, and it's beautiful. And there's a real vision there, like there's a real aesthetic that's captured here. Lots of Stokowski, lots of early Baroque music, and that's a beautiful thing in itself.
Well, I'm glad I kept them.
Yeah, just as well. You kept that suitcase.
Yeah.
It's really good. So yeah, they'll definitely have many lives here at the station, and hopefully beyond. Because my object one day, when the time's right, I'll find some unsuspecting young person to just give it all away to.
Yes.
Someone will be out there with a similar vision, hopefully. Anyhow, so here we go. Our 78 for the day, our 20s hit. I'm leaning over and I Wrestle the record off the turntable because I've forgotten what it is, and it happens to be a recording of George Olsen and his music, and Foxtrot, I'll Never Ask for More, EA 501, so this would be about 1927.
I'm just going to go missing for a few minutes because David's just come and I need to talk to you.
No worries whatsoever, all in good. We'll just get this queued up and ready.
While you're doing that, this is vk3jr in contact with vk3sl and vk3avd. Crossband duplex, 2 meters to 160 meters.
Indeed.
Testing.
And ills hide, take me to that hillside, and I'll never ask for more. I long for the scenery, homestead mid the greenery. Lead me to that scenery, and I'll never ask for more. For in that homestead mid that greenery, on that hillside fair, two longing eyes, two tender lips, two empty arms await me there. She stands at the gateway, makes heaven a straight way. Lead me to that gateway, and I'll never ask for more.
There we go. That was a fairly upbeat song. And,
Good.
Yeah, this is the music of George Olsen. It reminds me of a. We sort of were rudely interrupted last week, last Sunday. I had to go out, and we lost our Eddie Cantor momentum. We were sort of listening to a few of his records, and there's quite a few I'd like to have another feature, but we won't do it today. But I will play one more because it's sort of in vogue and it's a little bit topical because we had a family theatre night the other night. We watched a film called Roman Holiday with Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck. And we watched it in that new old cinema room that I've set up in my folks' garage using the huge Altec 604s speakers.
Oh boy!
And it just the sound is just incredible. And we've set it up with couches and chairs and a very big screen and a movie projector, and it's all set up and it's quite cozy. It's like being in an old 1930s lounge room because the whole room is panelled from it used to be my bedroom back in the 1980s.
Yeah.
And we panelled it. We found a house that was being wrecked and it had all this wood panelling and an old window and various things, and we sort of set it up And it's just a really great sort of oldie-worldy space, very quirky space, and now it's all tidied up and movie compliant. And yeah, we had a great night watching the movie, and we're going to watch a lot more as an extended family. I think there was quite a few of us sitting there. And anyhow, as before the film started, I played because we were listening to Roman Holiday, I thought, well, there's a film with Eddie Cantor, and we'd just done the Eddie Cantor program last week, and it was on my mind that his film Roman Scandals is featured. It's a Warner Brothers film, and it's one of the great Eddie Cantor films, actually. It's got lots of interesting pre-code attributes, which we can discuss another time. But at the beginning of the film, there's a song called When We Build a Little Home, and it's right at the beginning of the Depression, and it's all about sort of emancipation and giving people hope at the most desperate time, and he's so optimistic. That's the thing I love about Eddie Cantor. He's so just open-minded in that sense, or he comes across that way anyhow. That's his screen style. And so I thought that song had a bit of that vibe. So look, we'll play just that song. This is what we played as we played the screen version of this. In fact, I'm playing the screen version now, but it works well for sound. And with Ruth Etting and Gloria Stewart. When We Build a Little Home. It's just a lot of fun, and it's classic Eddie Cantor, one of his best songs, I think. We might get the beginning of the film too.
We always have a roof above us, as long as there's a sky. And if we have someone to love us, we're sure of getting by. You don't need a lot of log and stone. Build a home on happiness alone. With a million little stars, we can decorate the ceiling with an optimistic feeling. When we build a little home, every single little dream is a shingle or a rafter. We can paint the house with laughter when we build a little home. It's not a palace or a poor house, but the rent is absolutely free. This is my house, but it's your house if you'll come and live with me. With a carpet on the floor, made of buttercups and clover, all our troubles will be over when we build a little home. Look, I'll show you. This can be the dining room. This can be the living room. Come on, help me with the couch, will you? With a million little stars, we can decorate the ceiling with an optimistic feeling when we build a little home. Every single little dream is a shingle or a rafter. We can paint the house with laughter. It's not a palace or a poor house, but the rent is absolutely free. This is my house, but it's your house if you'll come and live with me. With a carpet on the floor, made of buttercups and clover, all our troubles will be over when we build a little home. decorate the ceiling with an optimistic feeling. When we build a little home, every single little dream is a shingle or a rafter. We can paint the house with laughter when we build a little home. It's not a palace or a poorhouse, but the rent is absolutely free. This is my house, but it's your house if you'll come and live with me. With a carpet on the floor, made of buttercups and clover, all our troubles will be over when we build a little home.
Here, what's going on here? You can't do this.
Why not? We're only building a home.
A home?
Sure, everybody's doing it. Come on and join in.
But the rent is absolutely free. This is my house, but it's your house if you come and live with me. With a carpet on the floor, made of buttercups and clover, all our troubles will be over when we build a little home.
Classic early 30s Warner Brothers film.
What a lovely song.
Oh, it's a great song. And what's happened, see, all these people are evicted. There's about 10 families, all evicted, and they make a home in the open air. And they have all their possessions, and they put down the carpets and their beds, and they set it up, and they have this big communal living arrangement.
How do they keep dry?
Well, that's the question in the film.
Don't worry.
They don't worry. Yeah, it's a little bit too complicated.
Okay.
But, it's just about trying to find, hope.
I know.
And he's just got such a way, and everyone's dancing, and they're sort of all, trying to emancipate themselves, I suppose.
Yeah.
And there's one funny scene where someone rolls out some carpet, and someone's got their early generation Hoover, and they're hoovering the carpet in the middle of it's like in a courtyard between the houses from which they've been evicted.
Yeah.
And then he goes up, and then the Hoover picks up, and it completely sucks off the dress of one of the women. She's got almost nothing on underneath, and she quickly scurries off. And of course, there's a little bit of a wow moment to titillate the audience.
I like it.
Yes. So all those little things happen, which never would have happened after the Hayes Production Code came in shortly after. But, it's
good that they've been recorded for posterity.
Yes, it is. And the film's interesting because it starts off on this note, and he walks into this town, and there have all these people who have been evicted, and they're really down and lost direction, and then the song erupts, and it sort of deals with new possibilities and all of that. And then the police come in and arrest him and kick him out of town. And this town we're talking about is called Rome.
Yeah.
And anyhow,
Let's the Romans go, right?
Yeah, so he gets kicked out of town, and he falls asleep on the side of the road and has this grand dream about going back to ancient Rome.
Yeah.
And the rest of the film's about his dream in ancient Rome.
Okay.
So that's what happens.
Lovely.
He meets Pilate, and all these crazy things happen. But anyhow, that's a mad Eddie Cantor moment. But you won't see that film anywhere. It's not even in the public domain. Bits of it are, but it's a bit contentious because there's blackface.
Why is it not? I mean, somebody got copyrighted it.
Well, I think Warner Brothers do. Although,
of course.
Yeah, but look, I don't think it's that. I think it's more that unfortunately, Eddie Cantor did some of the songs in blackface.
Okay.
And that's just completely
unacceptable
to modern audiences. I used to play these at our movie nights. All of them. Every single Eddie Cantor film has a blackface scene at the end.
Yeah.
And he did them a lot more generously than Al Jolson did, but at the same time, it's a very offensive. It's offensive to modern audiences. I mean, it's crazy, and I can understand why. Totally.
I understand.
And it's a complex issue. It's what they did at the time. It was, and I just put the disclaimer out. People are prepared to accept that, come and enjoy the film, but it's just one part of it. But it's and for that reason you just don't see it. There's nowhere. All the huge films in their day, and But anyhow, I'm just unrapping some cylinders now, and here we go. I'm just undoing them for the first time, and we have the New York Military Band, I think, on an Amberol. Yes, the Green Brothers Novelty Band, it says. And what's it? In Sweet September Foxtrot. Okay, it's a blue Amberol from the early days, probably pre-1915. And this is completely, straight out of the bag, literally. I'm going to lean over and get the cylinder player out, and we'll plonk it on. And here we go. I've got it onto the mandrel now, and what do? I have to switch. I think I've got this is a little bit hit and miss. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We'll suspend things and find something else to do. But I want to give this a go. I sort of like the idea of doing things a bit spontaneously. Here we go. So the cylinder player is now on, and I can do a needle drop. And here it is, in the groove. And let's see if we can get this working to expectation. All right, there we made it.
Great.
Yeah, we got right through. How about that? That's an achievement. Yeah, a Green Brothers Novelty Orchestra on an Amberol cylinder direct to air, which is a bit special.
Roughly when do you think?
I reckon it's it's First World War era. The Amberols, they started making them in about 1911, 1912, and they're the 4-minute records.
Yeah.
And they made out of a celluloid material, so they're quite robust. But the problem with them is that the inside of the cylinder is plaster of Paris, and if there's any moisture, they tend to go slightly off shape, and they don't fit onto the mandrel properly, and then they have lots of wow, and that can be a problem.
Yeah.
And people ream them out and do things to try and sort of configure them. But this is a brand new batch that was literally out of the bag, and the Green Brothers Novelty Band. I don't know anything about them. I was too absorbed with the experience of playing it to look it up. But how about that? I'll play one more from this same new batch. I'll put this one away. They've got these neat little sort of beer can type holders. Here we go. Another one. The labels on the little holders are wrong, so I've got to check this. Home Sweet Home, the World Over Band. All right, this is quite early. There's a number of sort of defining factors with these. If they have a beveled edge, I'll show you this next time you're here, because you can feel that the beveled edge is often pantographically transcribed cylinders, which were transcribed off Edison diamond discs, the later ones, which don't sound so good. And the very early ones had a flat edge, and they're often recorded direct, and the sound is astonishing. Now, this is one of those, so expectations are high for this. I'll just make sure it's sitting properly on the mandrel, and bear with me while I just wind the machine. This is a 1905 Edison standard player with a 4-minute accessory. They came later on. You could buy a little geared accessory that sat on top of the winding gears to allow you to play 4-minute records. It's very clever. So you could retrofit your old machine. So this machine predates the cylinder by quite a few years. So this one would probably almost certainly be from 1911, because it's got a very early number. And I'm hoping all will be well. We'll give it a go. And I just have to get that thing circulating. What am I doing? Is it going to work? Why's it gone slow? Oh, I'm not clicked in. It's got a gate on it, this machine, and the gate allows the cylinder to be properly supported. All right, we'll do a needle drop and have a listen to this. I can't remember what we're listening to. I think it all will be revealed.
Home, sweet home, the world over. As played in Germany. Scotland. Ireland. America.
Oh, that takes the cake.
Boy,
How about that?
how full on is that?
What a find. That is really special. And it's in perfect condition. That is silent as that record. And the quals in here were just astonishing. Wow. How
Very
about,
well played too.
yeah, and it really was. What a really interesting concept.
Yeah.
Oh, it reminds me of something. I'm going to do a bit of investigation.
Aha.
And while I do that, I will play there's 3 in this box that arrived today. So here we go. The other one. I'm really impressed with that. I find that really intriguing. The whole sort of the whole idea of presenting at work in different styles and engaging the listener. Here we go. Oh, this looks like it's black wax. Is it amberol or black wax? This could be black wax. 4-9. Not sure. Oh. No. I think it might be. It's black though. Usually amberols. We'll see if it works. If it's black wax, I'll damage it with the starter. So I'm going to be very
careful.
I'll be very careful. It looks like a black wax record, but it's it sort of presents as an amberol. They're all supposed to be amberols from this collection. This is a violin solo. I'll back announce it at the end if we proceed.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I think it's black wax. Sorry, folks, I'm going to just abort with that one because I'll damage it. I'll ruin the record if I persevere. I'm interested to know what's going on here because they seem to be playing too fast. No, it looks like an amberol. I'm not sure. That is confusing. It feels like celluloid. Maybe it's all right. What does it say?
Well,
Liebeslied, violin solo, Irma Siegel. Now, she's important. She was a fiddle player of significance.
well,
What's her story? I will look her up. I think I'm all right. No, it's not. I think it's. I'm just wanting to check it again because, yeah, that's amberol. It's just a very dark amberol. I've never seen a black amberol before. They always made them blue to make them distinctive from the black wax cylinders, which are only 2 minutes. but this one seemed to sort of play. I'm just to see if there's anything's come out of the grooves. They have very fine grooves, these cylinders. Look, I'll give it another go. I think it's all right. There's no sign of damage. Black wax, if you do the wrong thing, they basically strip themselves, and you get shards of
But
wax.
if you play it again.
Yeah, exactly. It destroys them forever. Same with mould. Black waxes get mould. So that's another issue. But look, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to abort that. We'll have a listen to Liebeslied. And Irma Seidel, I think her name is the name. Irma Spale. I'll look it up while we're listening. Irma Spale. You heard Irma Seidel playing the fiddle there with Liebeslied. Beautiful performance. I have to say I relished in that performance, and there's no damage to the cylinder, so it's definitely ambrel. That's good, and it's in beautiful condition, actually. Wow. So she's from a Boston family. She was born in 1896, and her father was in the Boston Symphony, and she studied in Europe and progressed rapidly. In 1909, she was soloist with the Guzenich Orchestra in Cologne, and during her career she was to perform with the Berlin, Leipzig and Vienna Philharmonic Orchestras. In America, she appeared with the New York Phil, the Chicago, San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Baltimore symphonies, and multiple times with the Boston Symphony. Seidel often performed the Saint-Saëns B minor concerto, an absolute personal favourite. I love that work, which is rarely played now, including its premiere performance, my God, with the San Francisco Symphony in 1913.
Good heavens.
This is so interesting.
Yeah.
A reviewer for that concert wrote, "The youthful virtuoso had spirit, vigour and sympathy. She plays with faultless intonation," which is absolutely evident there, by the way. She played that perfectly in tune.
Yeah.
Did you hear every note just rung with that wonderful harmonic absoluteness that you get when things are perfectly in tune? Yeah, faultless intonation, and exhibits a rare capacity for expression. She was recalled for 2 encores playing Schumann's Immortal Tremore exquisitely. World War I disrupted Seidel's plans for another European tour, but she stayed active on the home front. And the Music Courier of 1918, of which there's a picky of her there, she looks gorgeous, reported that she had proved herself as great a patriot as she is an artist, spending 2 months of that summer playing for soldiers and the wounded at various forts and naval hospitals. What an extraordinary story. Though there's no printed programs, the article continues, Miss Seidel always played until long after lights out in the barracks on some of the islands. Wow. The well-liked violinist and her accompanist Edna Stossel, both charming girls, were entertained and chaperoned by YMCA men, I'm sure they were, and created much enthusiasm wherever they appeared. Yes! Seidel also made appearances drumming up business for the Edison Musical Instrument Company. Okay, well, we've heard an example of that. Goes on, yes, and talks about her recording of Liebeslied. Here we are, the one we just heard. Yeah, and an Edison cylinder, and later 278 records. Okay, I've never heard those. You can hear that, like Chrysler, she uses an almost continuous vibrato. Absolutely. Yeah. Her approach to rubato and slides is often conservative for the time, which I agree with. It was quite a very cerebral performance in that sense. Yeah, there we go. She married in 1921, and the rest of it's history, I think.
Okay.
That's what happened so often.
She gave it away.
Yeah, it's a sort of...
Had kids.
Yeah, and that's the end. Yeah, not much more. 1921, end of career. Oh... But what a beautiful example of her craft, and what an exciting find. I had no idea that was in the box. So
that's a beauty.
There's 2 other boxes which I'll unravel.
We could have more.
Yeah, we'll definitely discover more. We'll look into the others as well. So that's rather special, actually, to have that. Someone's written some comments here. Is there any? Can I get any illumination? I'll see. Always. Oh, she taught at the Boston Conservatory. So there we go. She ended up teaching after family things. So anyhow.
Well, at least she stayed in music.
Yeah, she stayed in music, which is nice to hear. Yeah. Well, I was taken by that recording before of Home Sweet Home, all the different takes on Home Sweet Home. So I thought it might be nice to play something of. I won't announce this. I'll just let the artist describe what he's going to do. So this is dedicated to you, Frank.
Oh,
yay!
Double interest.
I used to play one tune. As a matter of fact, my mother and my father wanted me to play constantly, practice all the time. But I learned to play one tune, but I learned to play this tune in the style of all the composers. So with that tune, I got away with everything. Concerts and everything, and nobody seemed to detect it. Might touch up a little of that, because I haven't done it for a long time. Remember, the tune was something like this. Now, I should like to play it in various styles. For instance, the way Tchaikovsky would have composed the same theme. Peter Idiot Tchaikovsky.
He fell off the piano stool.
Try it once more. like we have an audience at home tonight here. Chopin, let's. Oh, Chopin. He's dead, by the way, I hope you realize. As a matter of fact, I hope he is, because they buried him many years ago. That goes for Mrs. Chopin also. Now, Brahms. Joey Brahms. Use you, baby. Next, Wagner, Richard Wagner, or as we call him in the United States, Dick Wagner, for short. And this is from his famous opera, Die Gewölben gerunden, von den Geschlagen, mit dem Abschluss, mit Balken, Schnarchen, mit dem Ausstift. The second act. Now, Beethoven. Harry S. Beethoven. From the operetta, Harry and Bess. This is a very quiet number, and the management has asked me to tell you there will be no dancing during this particular number. I can't hear a thing myself. Coming up. There it is. Strauss. Johann Sebastian Strauss. Mozart. Margaret Mozart. Now, a little Irving Berlin. One of the modern composers, Shostakovich. Junior. He's a little nutty, isn't he?
Oh my God, that is absolutely astonishing.
Victor Borg.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Yeah, what a natural musician.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I was just reading his history here. He started off as a child virtuoso and had this distinguished career as a real artist.
Yeah.
But it's a rather
Before he decided to make some real money.
Yeah, exactly. He obviously found a better way. In fact, he was terribly impoverished during the Nazi era, and I mean it was just appalling how he barely managed, and in the worst conditions. And then, of course, went to America and turned his. He didn't have a word of English when he came to America.
Is that right?
Not a word, and that was only that was in the 40s or early 50s.
He used language well in some of his sketches, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He's obviously a very bright cookie because he's completely nails it.
I used to love him as a kid.
Yeah.
They used to play him a lot.
Yeah, oh, it's great. I'm going to get into him much more. I mean, I've just been observing him playing and obviously hearing what he's doing there, and it's just so easy. It's like he doesn't even need to look at the keys. It's just completely in his DNA, just improvising and doing crazy stuff.
He does some funny opera things, like a woman called Anna Russell.
Oh yes, that's right.
I like her too. She does very good operas.
She does, doesn't she? Yes, indeed. Yeah, but no, I'm quite impressed. I'd quite forgotten that Victor Borg was such a force of nature.
Long time since I've heard him. It's great to hear him again.
Yeah, and he just did that completely off pat, and he's just so full of just craziness, and he just did silly things like, I think sometimes classical music needs that sort of irreverent sort of swipe.
Oh, why not?
Yeah,
prick the balloon a little bit.
Yeah, it does, and he does it with such ease, as if he transcends the genres. He can just work on that level.
He does. I think some of what he does is visual.
Yeah, it is. He's a very natural communicator, and he's very physical, and his manner, like he's doing things like arching himself back while he's playing the piano and almost bending himself backwards and missing the keys and catching the piano stool and doing all sorts of clownish stuff.
Yeah, he did quite a lot of television.
Yeah, he would have been perfectly suited to that. But it is astonishing that he's Danish. He came from an Ashkenazi Jewish background, and unbelievable hardships in Europe in the 1930s.
Yeah.
It's insurmountable. He just got out with just a few dollars and disguised as a sailor on the last ship out from Finland, and got to the US, and then just had this. He must have had this inner drive to reinvent himself, and to learn the language, to learn English.
All of that.
I mean, wow, what a character! Amazing. Yeah, I'm sold. I want to hear more Victor Moore.
Oh, yeah.
I just think
He used to play him in the 50s to 60s, early 60s. I had a friend who had an LP.
Oh, yes. Right. Okay.
We used to love it.
Oh, very good. Yeah, we'll have to feature him more in the program. Yeah, when did he live? How long did he live for? He lived until 2000. My goodness.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. At the end of 2000, he died at the age of 90-something. Amazing. Well, that's impressive. Yeah. Well, look, I'm sorry, I've got a bit carried away, and I've got our list of. I'll persevere with this list tonight because I really want to sort of just indulge with these list of jazz divas. But I was looking through the pile of records I pulled off the shelf for today, and amongst them is a recording of Billie Holiday and her orchestra, which she ended up having her own stamp. This is actually. Yeah, it's reasonably early. It would be from the late 30s, early 40s. And two sides here. What would you like to hear? I don't know if I'm coming or going, which sort of pulls at the heartstrings. If you can't, and so's the other side, you can't be mine. What do you think, Frank? I could play both.
Well, I'm going both.
I think so. I think we can't get enough of Billie Holiday.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, all right. We'll play it on the SP10. So I'll just gear this up. And...
I heard a recording of Billie today, just a half of a recording, where she said she was straight.
All right.
And she still sounded pretty good, but a little bit less. Billie Holiday, a little bit.
Yeah. She just had such. She was so compromised. Well, I mean, she just had so many problems in her.
She demons. Had the worst childhood.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's so ironic is the only film of her. She made a real film with Duke Ellington.
Yeah.
And she gets struck down in the film.
Oh, there's a certain irony in that.
Yeah, there is. It's so just disturbing. And she's 16 when she made that film.
Oh my God.
So, she's young, and it's sort of at the very beginning, and the Duke is this sharp, remarkable pianist, and I think he's telling the story on the piano, and the film is just like a subtext to it, it's sort of displaced a bit. So it's not it's nothing against the Duke, because he's telling the story of the blues and talking about the story of emancipation and the hardships of black people, and when he presents the blues, she is the protagonist, and she gets this guy comes and belts the hell out of her, just whacks her down, and you see it happen on the film, and you think, my God, that's really just horrible to witness. And then when she's on the ground, she gets up and then sings the blues in the film.
Well, yeah.
And she's a kid.
That set the scene for it, didn't it?
Yeah, well, it did. I mean, it's sort of, Anyhow, we'll hear a little bit later.
There was a comment made in this doco today that was apt, really.
Right.
She had a terrible circumstance to cope with. Her whole life was filled with terrible circumstances.
Yeah.
She had no control over. However, she made it worse for herself because she was a masochist. She kept on choosing people who were bad for her.
Well, this is often happens. People sort of manufacture things in their own, because it becomes sort of normalized in some sort of weird psychological way.
It does. She kept on choosing men who were no good for her.
Exactly, who abused her, because that was somehow, it's not, people have I suppose it's a complex psychology, isn't it?
Oh, very complex. And I used to see the same thing in my divorce work.
Yeah. People just actually, it provides not comfort, but it provides a familiar, a potential for emancipation, a potential to resolve something. But so they keep manufacturing the circumstance.
I think that's it. It's very deep seated.
Yeah, I think
and
it is.
And it's very subconscious.
Yeah, I can understand that, and people just fall into the same traps. And I
used to see it. Women had married, have a bad marriage, and they would get free of that, and then they'd go out and find somebody exactly the same.
Yeah. I listened to a series of podcasts by Alain de Botton, who's a Swiss English. He's a philosopher, but he's also very into analytical sort of pursuits.
Yeah,
and he really looks at a lot of the deep-seated sort of roots of some of these behaviours in psychoanalysis, and I find it intensely interesting.
Oh, yeah.
It sort of can become a departure point for looking at life and the universe and everything.
You bet.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think she sort of got caught up in that trap of just keep repeating the trauma to try in order to try and resolve it, but without ever really having much hope to do so.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyhow, we'll have a listen to this beautiful recording. We'll hear both sides. I'll play them back to back. So we'll have a little an excerpt of Billie Holiday from the late 1930s. That's Lester Young.
Lovely.
You can be mine and someone else's too. Someday you'll find I've been a friend to you. I don't believe that life's worth living. I gave you all that was worth giving. You never cared how I fared or what I do. I called you mine, but I was not to blame for all the time you played a two-handed game. Second-hand love I can't see. It's good for some, but not for me. You can't be mine, and someone else's too. About the town, chasing up and down,
tracks featuring the inimitable Billie Holiday. Beautiful performances. She just had the essence of jazz.
I think they were her golden years, though.
Yeah, I think so. In the 30s was her era.
I don't think she ever sounded better anyway. Just about as good perhaps in the 40s, but
yeah,
that was just lovely.
Yeah, it was very special. That's great. One good thing about AI is that you can do very quick searches, because now whenever you ask a question, you get so an AI answer as well as your Google search.
I must start using it.
Yeah, it's just automatic now. It just comes up as a part of the search algorithm.
So is that on YouTube?
Yeah, not on YouTube. On the I'm using Safari on my tablet, but it's coming up basically with an AI response along with the list. I won't use the word Google, but yeah. So anyhow, I just quickly ask the question, which I often do. What was Sarah Vaughan's first record? And instantly, within 1 second, it came up with a recording with Billy Eckstein and his orchestra, and a track called "I'll Wait and Pray" from 1944.
Oh.
So I'm keen to hear this. I love hearing artists at their zenith. Now, I love hearing them at many stages of their life, but it's always interesting to hear their point of departure.
The first one is often very especially interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it just sort of captures my imagination. So here we have a very young, Sarah Vaughan back in 1944. She would have been a teenager. My goodness me.
That was remarkable.
Isn't it interesting? She's channeling Ella, isn't she?
She is. It sounds like a mature voice already to me.
Yeah.
Not only that, but if you just played her cold, as it were, and said, "Who's that?"
Yeah.
I doubt I would struggle to identify her.
Isn't it interesting? I just found that, yeah, I totally agree with you.
I can tell it's Sarah, knowing that it is. I can hear the Sarah there.
You can hear her grain and her sort of essence.
It's there. But if I heard it out of the blue, I don't know that I'd pick her.
Yeah, isn't it interesting? Yeah, she's just channeling the jazz greats of her previous generation. I suppose.
That's right.
But as often they did, and that's the fascinating thing, is because you hear them sort of do that and then emancipate themselves and find their own voice.
Right, incredible. Look, just on that similar
thing,
in this doco today, there's something was said that I think you probably already know.
Yeah.
Ella said that her sort of the person she wanted to sound like was Connie Boswell.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. She said that many times.
Yeah.
And which is sort of ironic and complex, because Connie Boswell was a university-trained white musician from a family with lots of money.
Yes.
And started off playing in a piano trio, serious classical music, and then sort of, as you said before, where the money was.
Indeed. But it was, she sort of, looking back on it, she sort of outgrew the Boswell image.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, not to denigrate Connie in any way.
No, she definitely did. She found her own voice and she found her own style, and she tuned into different wavelengths and just, went from there. No, I totally acknowledge that. That's the case with all these artists. But it's fascinating to know what their formative influences were and how they sort of connected with a tradition of sorts.
That's what this BBC doco was about.
Oh, look,
I'll get the link from
Leighton. Yeah, please do. I'd like to hear it. I've just looked up what Peggy Lee's first recording is.
Yeah.
And it's Elmer's tune in 1941.
Oh, my God.
With Betty Goodman. So this channel this is fine.
I've got to go and organise the tea.
Oh, okay. All right.
Look, just do this, and then I'll go.
Yeah, no worries. We'll play this one, and then we'll let you cut you loose. So let's hear Peggy Lee's very first recording from 1941, Elmer's tune. I'm vk3sl. fascinating too to hear Peggy Lee and that guy's. You could hear sort of echoes of her later career there, but she's very much in that 30s vocalist.
Yeah, again, nothing really to distinguish her.
No.
I'd struggle to pick her up.
Yeah.
None of that delicious intimacy.
No, that's right.
To love.
Yeah, I totally get it. I think a lot of it's a product of the types of arrangements and the type of projection and the style of the times. I think later on it sort of moved into a much more looser format and gave the vocalists more space to sort of really develop their character.
Very much her own woman, though, didn't she?
Yeah, totally. You sort
of
had
a personality that was like no other.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I think, the voices were not exploited but embraced in the next generation of recordings. But it is interesting to hear sort of in that in that style.
Fascinating.
It is fascinating. I've also looked up Nina Simone, but I understand that you've got to go. But I can play this again later.
Oh, that'd be great. I do have to wind. I'll probably come back if you're still going. I'll be back in probably 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, look, I'll play this as Little Girl Blue from 1958. That's Nina Simone's first record.
Classic, yes.
Yeah.
I would have played that tonight.
Yeah.
One of my favourite tracks, really.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, that's great. Well, look, I'll play it, but
she picks up the lovely pathos and the sadness of this.
Oh, wow. Thank you for that. I'll play that now, but I'm more than happy to play it later on. Then I might play the rest of the album, and from 1958, her first album. So, and then I'll let that ride for another 20 minutes or so. So we'll start with this and then go from there. So thanks, Frank, and look forward to your company later on. So if you have any thoughts about...
Yes, most certainly, Steve. I'll be there.
Yeah, any classical offerings later on, please just chime in.
vk3sl going temporarily with QRT.
Yeah, no worries at all. And Ian, I don't know if you're still around, but we'll play some of your dad's records tonight too. We'll keep that tradition going because there's lots to draw from. But let's have a listen now to Nina Simone and a Simone standard, Little Girl Blue from 1958. I'm vk3sl. Thank you for listening.
What can you do? Old girl, you're through. Sit there, count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue. Sit there, count the raindrops falling on you. Each time you knew all you can ever count on are the raindrops that fall on little girl blue. the little raindrops falling on you. 'Cause it's time you knew all you can ever count on are the raindrops that fall on little girl blue. No use, old girl, you might as well surrender, 'cause your hopes are getting slender and slender. Why won't somebody send a tender blue boy to cheer up little girl blue?
Oh my goodness, that just melted my heart. That was music of Nina Simone. So beautiful, so intimate, so deeply expressive and just human to every sense. It's got the essence of life. It comes from the earth. I've got to play the rest of the album, folks. I'm going to go inside. I've got to do stuff. I've got to cook dinner and all that. But I'm going to listen to this and I'm going to play it on the air while I'm listening to it. And it's Little Girl Blue, 1958. And yeah, just going to hear more of this. I'm going to cue it up now. You'll hear that track again. It'll come up in the mix. But and a warm hello to Mr. W who's listening in. Thanks, Wayne. Good to hear from you. All right, let's continue. I'm vk3sl. Look forward to your company tonight.
Never been blue. No, no, no. You ain't never been blue till you've had that mood indigo. That feeling goes stealing down to my shoes while I just sit here and sigh. Go long blues. I always get that mood indigo since my baby said goodbye. And in the evening when the lights are low, I'm so lonely I could cry. For there's nobody who cares about me. I'm just a poor fool that's bluer than blue can be. When I get that mood indigo, I could lay me down and die. Till you've had that mood indigo, that feeling goes stealing down to my shoes, while I just sit here and sigh, go long blue. I left a note on his dresser, and my old wedding ring with these few goodbye words. How can I sing goodbye, oh sleepyhead? I'm packing you in like I said. Of everything, I'm leaving my wedding ring. Don't look for me. I'll get ahead. Remember, darling, doesn't know it, but he needs me. And so no matter where he goes, though he doesn't care, he knows that I'm there. He needs me. I ought to leave him, but he needs me. I know that I ain't very bright, just to tag along. Oh, but right or wrong, I'm here, and I'm here, and I'm gonna be his friend or his lover. 'Cause my one ambition is to wake him and make him discover that he needs me. I've got to follow where he leads me, or else he'll never know that I need him just as he needs me. What can you do? Old girl, you're through. Sit there, count your little fingers. Unhappy little girl blue. Sit there, count the raindrops falling on you. Each time you knew all you can ever count on are the raindrops that fall on little girl blue. Won't you just sit there, count the little raindrops on you. 'Cause it's time you knew all you can ever count on are the raindrops that fall on little girl blue. No use, old girl, you might as well surrender, 'cause your hopes are getting slender and slender. Why won't somebody send a tender blue boy to cheer up little girl blue? Love me and leave me and let me be lonely. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the nighttime the right time for kissing. Nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love, don't wanna borrow. Have it today to give back tomorrow. Your love is my love, there's no love for nobody else. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the nighttime the right time for kissing. Nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting with somebody else. There'll be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. Say, hey, I want your love, don't wanna borrow. Have it today to give back tomorrow. Your love is my love is your love. And there's no love for nobody else. shows. My baby don't care for clothes. My baby just cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. My baby don't care for high-tone places. Liz Taylor is not a style, and even Lana Turner's smile, something he can't see. My baby don't care who knows it. My baby just cares for me. Shows, and he don't even care for clothes. He cares for me. My baby don't care for cars and races. Baby don't care for. He don't care for high-tone places. Liz Taylor is not his style, and even Liberace smile. Something he can't see is something he can't see. I wonder what's wrong with baby. My baby just cares for. My baby just cares for. My baby just cares for me. Plain gold ring on his finger he wore. It was where everyone could see he belonged to someone, but not me. On his hand was a plain gold band. Plain gold ring had a story to tell. It was one that I knew too well. In my heart, it will never be spring, long as he wears a plain gold ring. Oh, when nighttime comes a calling on me, I know why I will never be free. I can't stop these teardrops Plain gold ring has but one thing to say. I'll remember till my dying day. In my heart, it will never be spring, long as it wears plain gold ring. Plain gold ring on his finger he wore. Plain gold ring on his finger he wore.
Nina Simone, Life, Universe and Everything. Thanks for listening.